Welcome ladies and gentlemen, my name's Dychronic, your host here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Deepstone Crypt weapons. Specifically, we're going to be ordering them from worst to least based on their potential roles, their efficacy in PvE and PvP, and obviously it is shortly after the raid release. I don't have all of the best possible roles, so this is partly speculative, but after 3,000 hours in this game, hopefully I'll be able to give you a good understanding of which weapons are going to be good to get in the new raid. And to those of you who are wondering about my spreadsheets and why I haven't made them yet, it's because I wanted to take my time and understand these weapons before making them, and I plan on making my PvE primaries one for next weekend. And the last thing I want to say before we get started is I actually have a giveaway going on right now, Astro A10 headset and a Blue Yeti microphone, so check out link in the description down below to enter that giveaway. Right, so with the free stuff out of the way, let's go ahead and get started with number 7 on this list, probably the worst raid weapon and a pretty bad weapon in general, the Bequest Legendary Sword. Now there are 3 main reasons why this weapon, in my opinion, is kind of a failure. Firstly, the preferred perks on swords are usually Relentless Whirlwind, giving you more ammo by hitting an enemy and more damage by also hitting enemies. Now this weapon does have other damage perks like Assassin's Blade, Surrounded, and On Guard, but generally you want to use swords on bosses, mini bosses, and champions, and you're not usually going to be getting these benefits while doing that. The second reason is that we have other sword options. We have the Falling Guillotine, the Temptation's Hook, the Adaptive Sword from Prophecy. We have good sunset level swords we don't have to sacrifice to get this because we don't care. And the third reason is we have Lament. Lament is so far and above the DPS of any sword in the game right now that it just doesn't feel worth using a legendary sword if we're doing boss damage. Coming up at number 6 on this list, we have the Succession Sniper Rifle, a weapon that seemed very promising for PvP at first. Not only did we have a lot of weapons or snipers that got dumped because of sunset level, it also has a lot of great perks in the form of Moving Target, Killing Wind, No Distraction, Snapshot, and Rampage, all pretty incredible perks, coupled with the fact that it has better range and better handling than that of the Bite of the Fox, the direct competition, but it is a higher zoom level. And even though they did change how zoom level affects aim assistance with the Beyond Light patch, the level of zoom, being that it's too far, is just not comfortable for me. I really can't see enough in the mid-range that I feel comfortable using it. Now obviously this is a minor gripe and it may work out really well for you, and I'd recommend you try it out. In my opinion, this sniper has technically been relegated more to a PvE sniper, with perks like Lead from Gold and Vorpal, allowing it to get some pretty decent DPS on majors and elites, but still I'd rather use a fusion rifle or grenade launcher. Up next, we have the Commemoration Legendary Machine Gun, the weapon that I like to consider as the Hammerhead replacement, a 450 RPM adaptive frame heavy machine gun that's also void, almost 1-for-1 a direct replacement. And with that, a lot of incredible perks. Pretty much every perk in column 3 is amazing to have on this weapon. Pretty much every perk in column 4 outside of Eye of the Storm and Dragonfly is an amazing perk to have on this weapon. And with that, it also has very comparable range, stability, and handling to that of the Hammerhead, the biggest and most glaring issue being that the aim assistance is nowhere close to that of the Hammerhead. In PvP, this is going to be a big issue, considering a lot of the reason people use this over the other 450 or even the other heavy machine guns is because it's snapped on very easily. In my opinion, this is more of a PvE weapon, allowing you to get ranged void damage, and Grandmasters being able to break void shields with the Hammerhead was very useful. But even then, it might still be very useful for you in PvP and Gambit alike. This is your new Hammerhead, deal with it. Up next at number 4 on this list, we have the TRUSTEE Energy Scout Rifle, a weapon probably a lot of people did not expect to like, considering 260 RPM rapid-fire scout rifles are not really that applauded in the community. This one came out with some better than average stats, a lot of great perks in both column 3 and column 4, and in my opinion, in that nice sweet spot for PvE high level where you can stay safe and have decent DPS, right in that 390 pulse rifle area. And apparently there's some funky stuff that you can do with this weapon. If you extend the mag and you get reconstruction, you can get 44 in the magazine, which does seem like a lot of bullets. And for the PvP side of things, considering how many different damage perks we have in this game, including Charge with Light, Inertial Override, Empowering Rifts, Wells, even High Impact Reserve on this weapon, getting the 4-shot instead of 5 headshot in PvP has become easier than it ever has been. And on top of that, we're currently in a scout rifle, pulse rifle, and hand cannon meta right now, so weapons like these fit right in the middle of all of that. Coming up at number 3 on this list, we have the Heritage Kinetic Shotgun. A lot of people consider this to be the first in last out's kinetic alternative, and I would generally agree with this with some minor differences. For the perks on the PvE side of things, there's a lot of great things. Firstly, Assault Mag is the optimal column 2, so I'm glad to see that in the list. For column 3, a lot of different reload options, including Reconstruction, so you can get double magazine, it loads while you're using it and not using it, auto loading, which is a consistent offhand loading, and then dual loading, which is a new kind of loading. Column 4 with an interesting new perk called Thresh, where you get more super energy for killing enemies with this weapon. However, doesn't have any utility or damage perks like Vorpal, Trench Barrel, or Demolitionist. So as far as direct boss damage goes, as people have been using it against the Deepstone Crypt raid boss, I still think that first and last out is going to be the better option with Vorpal. However, as I've said before and ad infinitum, Vorpal is not really that valuable on a shotgun. More often than not, you can use a sword in the same scenario and get double the DPS. It's really only against the Deepstone Crypt raid boss can you really take advantage of that, outside of just getting slammed away by most mini-bosses. And for the PvP side of things, there is a significantly higher amount of aim assistance. I don't believe it to be better than the Chaperone in any way as far as statistics go, but it is a good legendary alternative for Chaperone if you wanted to use that. Up at number 2 on this list, we have the Posterity Energy Hand Cannon. A lot of people in the community talking about how they love this weapon for PvE, the fact that it's very controllable, a lot of great perks on it, and honestly, I'm gonna have to disagree. I like 140s and 120s for PvE, not only for their range, but usually the ability to one-shot enemies that the 180s cannot. I would actually argue that this is gonna be one of the new meta weapons for PvP. Perhaps not the complete meta, but definitely stronger than a lot of the other options. Now hear me out on this. Firstly, it has a perfect 100 recoil pattern. That is very useful, especially on a precision frame. Secondly, it has a lot of great perks for PvP, including Rapid Hit, Feeding Frenzy, Reconstruction, Killing Wind, Rampage, Demolitionist, Opening Shot, Relentless. There's so many good things to have on it. And again, because the fact that we have so many damage increases in the Crucible right now, including Charge with Light, Rampage, Empowering Rifts, Initial Override, the Shatter Damage weapon bonus, it is very easy to get this weapon to a 3-shot headshot. I believe only 1 stack of Rampage can get you to 3-shot headshot enemies with 4 resilience or lower. And you guessed it, you can stack as many of these bonuses at once and very easily and very consistently get 3-shot headshots. So you've got the fire rate of a 180, you've got the recoil pattern of the spare rations but better, and you've got the 3-shot potential. This is definitely something that I would think PvP would be quite good. And oh baby, if you can get Reconstruction and Rampage on this thing, having double the clip size with Rampage on a 180 this precise, oof, looking good. And finally, coming up at number 1 on this top list is gonna be the Eyes of Tomorrow Exotic Rocket Launcher, and I really have to say, it really isn't fair. This weapon definitely sets itself above and beyond every other rocket launcher in the game for PvE. If you've never heard of it before, its first perk, Eyes on All, this weapon is capable of tracking and firing multiple targets simultaneously, and it fires all 6 rockets regardless of how many people you track. The other main perk, Adaptive Ordnance, killing 4 more combatants in a single volley increases the damage of the next volley. Now in my opinion, this is more well suited to solo Lost Sectors or Grandmaster Nightfall. It has some pretty good DPS, but I don't think it's better than Swords, and I definitely don't think it's better than the Lament. And again, I haven't done my testing yet, but the fact that it does like 5 to 6 times more damage than a regular rocket launcher really goes to show that it definitely competes. And that's going to be the end of the video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions, thoughts, or concerns. Also, please let me know if there's something I missed about these weapons. If there's a weapon here that you thought I underrated, please let me know which weapon and of course why. I, like you, am a Destiny 2 nerd and I want to use and get the best arsenal. But yeah, my name's Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.